My name is Rabbi Zevi Weinberg. I'm the author of over 40 books on Judaism and Jewish mysticism, and I'm broadcasting from Sfat, Israel. So, yesterday I was at Miron, which is a very holy site. In fact, excuse me about my voice there. It's the resting site of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who's the author of Kabbalah. Kabbalah means receive the deepest divine wisdom. It's called the wisdom of truth. Anyway, I had an insight which I believe is very important, and I'm sharing that insight with you. And I'd appreciate if you find this to be true, to share it with someone else. So the truth is that there's a statement in one of the primary books of Kabbalah called Sefer Yetzirah, Ein, excuse me, Lamaila Me'oineg ve'ein lamata menega. There's nothing higher than pleasure, and there's nothing worse than pain. Now, obviously, it would be foolish to think that a life in the pursuit of pleasure is the goal. But rather is to say, and this is a very important point, there's nothing higher than pleasure. In other words, the body constantly seeks pleasure, right? So the mistake that we make is that once we feel pleasure, there's nothing higher than that. Ultimately, pleasure is a feeling of feeling good. And pain is obviously feeling bad. And so, obviously, we don't want to feel bad. That could be emotional distress. That could be physical distress. That could be anxiety distress. But any type of distress, we don't want to feel. So, if a person's not in a state of distress, often what will happen is that the nature and the instinct of the body is give me pleasure. But what the body doesn't understand, it's like somebody that says, give me food, right? Obviously, you don't want to be hungry. But if you're full and you continue eating, it actually becomes a liability. It doesn't become an advantage. It becomes a death trap. It certainly is meaningless and purposeless. And the same thing is with the pursuit of pleasure. If you actually are out of distress, you don't, let's say, have financial worries, you don't have, anxiety over how people are talking to you and are treating you, and so you're out of that range of distress, the pursuit of, I need another experience, I need another thing to make me happy is wrong. Because as long as you're out of distress and you're feeling good, nothing of the physical pleasures that exist, whether it's intimacy, whether it is not to put down intimacy. Intimacy with a wife is very important, but it's a temporary pleasure. If that's all you're pursuing, if you're pursuing fame, none of these things, and I've had fame before, none of these things will give you pleasure, because there's another rule. And the other rule of life is that constant pleasure ceases to be pleasurable. Again, constant pleasure ceases to be pleasurable. So I'm guaranteeing you 100% that the pursuit of pleasure, like our founding fathers in America said, the pursuit of happiness doesn't lead you to happiness. It actually leads you to depression, which is why so many people in the West that aren't in a state of distress are actually depressed, because they can't fill themselves, because they're trying to fill themselves with something that won't fill themselves. It's like trying to drink, gas when you need water. It's not going to make you feel better. In fact, it's going to make you feel worse. So the sum total of truth is that I asked myself, okay, so what are the things in life that are infinite? What are the things that actually do feed you every time? It doesn't become a trap. It actually becomes something that can keep on giving you nourishment, keep on giving you joy. And I came to the conclusion it's two things. First of all, kindness. Pursue kindness. They shouldn't say the pursuit of happiness. They should have said the pursuit of kindness, because you'll always feel good about the kindness you do. And there's never enough kindness to be done. That's number one. And the other is actually your relationship with God, which is also your relationship with yourself. You can also pursue spirituality in a pleasurable way, and it also becomes kind of this same little kind of trap, even though there are billions of people that are spiritual and we love God, but still, if it doesn't have an internal growth, if it's not shifting you and making you a better person, it's basically a kind of an ice cream. And it also kind of has its max. Oh, you have the pleasure. It is what it is. But if what your relationship with God, and really it's not only God, it's your relationship with yourself, in a certain sense, it's your, if you want to call it your raison d'être or d'être, it's your way you function in this world, is that everything and everyone, as the Baal Shem Tov says, is your teacher. At every moment, you're learning something. You know, when I studied this thing, the Baal Shem Tov says that the whole world is here to teach you. And I started to look at reality in a way of, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? Not only people, but events. And then after 2 weeks of being like fully immersed in that process, I kind of had this, like, you can call it, like, I don't know, second brain, which now I go through my normal life, but I'm always learning. If something's like a little out of place or something, it teaches me a lesson. So on one hand, I exist in this world. On the other hand, I'm always growing. And I'm not saying that with any ego, because it's almost like a muscle memory that I have. And obviously, if I have it, anyone can have it. So the point is that that's the second thing that is really eternal. It is the connection. And this is what we call the Torah Chadasha, the new Torah. God gave us the Bible. He gave us 613 mitzvahs for the Jews and 7 for the Gentiles. And now we have this kind of amazing ability to learn deepest, amazing stuff. And whenever you learn it, it's so insightful. And so whenever you're connecting to God, it's always wonderful. But when you're connecting in a way that is always inspiring you, always helping you to transform, when the world itself is God, when the world itself is the Torah communicating, when the Torah is not just information, it's inspiration, it's transformation. These are the two things, and I guarantee this 100%. The pursuit of honor, the pursuit of pleasure will not make you happy. Ask anybody that has that. Ask the stars, are you happy? No, they're not happy. They have the pleasure, they have the honor. They're not happy because it can't make you happy, because constant pleasure ceases to be pleasurable. But the two things that will always make you happy, and it's stepping outside of the body that's always seeking to take, and it's going into, number one, giving, and number two, growing. And growing is not necessarily something the body wants to do. The body likes to be comfortable. The body doesn't want to grow. The body wants to be, oh, I got it. I got this. It's covered. The guy, that you say a joke, a guy's looking for a parking place in Jerusalem. And he says to the guy, God, if you find me this parking place, such an important business meeting, I promise you, I'm going to give you 10% to charity. And as he says, this beautiful car pulls out. He says, God, it's okay. I found one already. It's like, as soon as we're comfortable, we don't want to be uncomfortable. But actually, the magic is not in being uncomfortable, but the magic is always, in a certain sense, stepping out of comfort, stepping out of your comfort zone, into more giving, into more growing. And I guarantee you that if you do this and you step into this giving and growing life, you will have a meaningful life, a happy life. So good luck. Make your life meaningful. Make your life happy. If this inspired you, and if it works for you, write a comment. Inspire others. Share this message. It's so simple. But I believe it touches the fundamental truth. And so please share this message. I love you. Good luck. All the best.